video. So Gothic Therapy just released a video about Wings Interactive. If you guys don't remember what Wings Interactive is, they were a company that once they were exposed by Gothic Therapy, they went into hiding. They deleted all their social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, their website, everything. They deleted literally everything. And then they came back on Twitter later down the line after deleting 1,000+ tweets. And they just did it to put everybody to their Blue Sky. So they reactivated their Twitter and told everybody, hey, go to Blue Sky. So he's found out more information that I think you guys are going to want to check out. So shout out to Master the TDS over at Gothic Therapy. We're going to watch this video and see what's going on here. And I'll link the video in the chat once it's done so you guys can go check out his channel. But I want to give him his shout out. Shout out to him. He's got a D on his chest, so that means he's very serious. He's very, obviously it's TDS, but I'm just fucking with him. Anyway, let's go. Put the volume up and go.
To resort to this. But you've left me no choice. For months, I've been investigating Wings Interactive, a so-called indie fund that claims to support marginalized developers. They position themselves as a neutral force in the industry, a lifeline for struggling indie teams. But that's a lie, because every time I dug deeper, they erased their tracks. They deleted their history. They hid their funding sources. And when I confronted them, they blocked me. But they made one mistake. They left behind proof. We don't have to speculate, because today I'm going to show you Wings Interactive's own co-founder admitting everything.
Oh, no. Dude, I don't know who's worse. Like, in a good way. I don't know who's worse. Master the TDS or Savvy? I really don't. I don't know who's worse, to be honest with you. Both of these guys and gals are internet detectives at this point.
Hello, and what is going on, everybody? It is Master of the TDS, and welcome back to the channel. Before we get into the video today, please make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons so you can stay up to date with this and other investigations in the future, as well as our regular content.
I think if Master the TDS and Savvy do the fusion dance from Dragon Ball Z, I think the world would end. I'm not kidding. I think the world would legitimately end. I think there would be a meteor 20 seconds after that fusion.
Appreciate it. For years, Wings Interactive has claimed to be an independent funding group, but that was a lie. Because here is Audrey LaPrince, co-founder of Wings Interactive, admitting that Landfall Games bankrolled them.
And this is how I thought about Wings, and I'm like, I'm gonna go get the money and give it directly to the women to make games. Just cut everything else, just focus on that.
What?
This is how it started, and I was trying to make it work with women in games in France, talking to the BP, the French bank.
You seriously left this for him to find? Hold on, let's go back. Wait, what?
That Landfall Games bankrolled them.
And this is how I thought about Wings, and I'm like, I'm gonna go get the money and give it directly to the women to make games.
You're gonna go get the money and give it to women to make games. What are you, fucking Robin Hood for women? What the fuck?
Just cut everything else, just focus on that. This is how it started, and I was trying to make it work with women in games in France, talking to the BP, the French banks and stuff, and it didn't go very well. And at the same time, Peter from Landfall Studios here in Sweden was trying to do the same. What? And then we kept bumping into each other and like, it's not working. And then we decided to do it together, and then it started. Got the first investment from Landfall Games, and then Riot just also granted us $1 million to invest in different projects like a few weeks ago or months ago.
Hold on, so she took money from Wings Interactive, and she specifically gave it to only female developers to go make games. What games did they make? The only games that I've seen them make, they get like 5 players on Steam. What is this? This is absolutely money laundering to an extent. What games have they made with this money?
Well, now
we already knew that they were at the same location and shared some board members, but now we have it from Audrey LaPrince's own mouth.
Wow.
This isn't just connecting dots anymore. This is their own words. Wings Interactive was never an independent fund. They were financed by a major game studio, a studio that now pretends that it has nothing to do with them. But it doesn't stop there. Did you ever wonder why Wings Interactive actually exists? I mean, they try to make it very clear on their page, but that is also a lie. Listen to this.
Oh, no.
I'm really starting a journey with doing good with games. With starting Wings Interactive, which is a fund that invests in games developed by female game developers and diverse teams. So 97% of game investors are male. There's 80% of game developers are also male. There's a strong skew in the games industry and that has manifested as well in content and also impacts the players. And I don't think.
And why is that a bad thing again? I don't understand the correlation between one number being too high equals bad, thus the other number being too low equals double bad. I don't understand that correlation. So because it's 80% men and 20% women, that is somehow a bad thing? How is that a bad thing? Do you have the same mindset when you look at the NBA and you see the overwhelming majority of the players being black? Do you have an issue in the teaching field, in the education system, where the majority of teachers are women? Do you run around and say, oh, this is a problem because there's not enough men in the education system? When you run around and you look at most of the hospitals and most of the nurses in hospitals are overwhelmingly female by a fucking large margin. Do you say that that's an issue and that you need more men? What the fuck? It's only when something is male dominated when now it's a problem. Only when it's male dominated, it's a problem. When it's female dominated, nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody even cares. Because it's not about the statistics, it's about whether or not they can do the job. And some people are better for the job than others. It's a fucking joke.
That incidents such as Gamergate is really a coincidence. I think that is, those kind of incidents are born out of the overall industry and content that has arisen from these circumstances.
This is where your U.S. aid money was going, by the way. I hope you understand that. This is where all of your U.S. aid money, government grants, funding, this is where all that money was going, to places like this. It was going to people like this. It was going to companies like this. And they were taking the money and divvying it up to losers who otherwise would not be there if the easy grant money was not there, which we all know that's true. Because now that the grant money is being taken away, suddenly everybody's leaving and getting fired and getting kicked out and all that stuff. Now that they're out of money, now it's like, oh, well, guess I got to go back to Hollywood or something. It's ridiculous, man.
So really looking to create a more socially fair and just industry and content and community.
Why is something being 80% male and 20% female socially unjust? Explain that, because they can't. They can never explain how that is unjust. Because if that is unjust, then I'm going to look at every female-dominated industry, and there's plenty of them, and I'm going to say by her standards that they are all unjust. And then she's going to gaslight me and tell me reasons as to why that is not the case, because it's inherently female-dominated. She's going to come up with every reason and excuse as to why it's female dominated, but for the male dominated industries, no, we can't have that. You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you exactly what it is. They know that they cannot compete at an equal, even level. They know that. They know the majority of the time they cannot compete at all at an equal standing. So they need to tip the standing in their favor in order to feel like they have a chance, because otherwise there is no chance for them. They cannot compete. They cannot stand against anybody else who actually is working based on their merit. They cannot stand against the nerds who are trying to get into the industry. They don't stand a fucking chance. They know that. So they have all these programs. They have all this nonsense to give them this fake, this fake bullshit idea that they're somehow equal to everybody else. No, you know which women are equal? You know which women are equal? I'll tell you the women that are equal. The 20% that got there naturally without your bullshit. That's the women that are equal. The women that were able to get the job done and compete with the men on an equal scale and got hired anyway. The Laura Fryers of the world, right? Fryer, a real nerdy bitch, that's the ones who got this done properly. That's the ones who were able to do it the right way. And those are the women that can compete. Those are the women that can stand with the men. You, on the other hand, that's not the case. And anybody that you give this government grant money to so they can go be developers and play pretend, that's not the case for them either. Anyway, nerds are going to save the world. You already know that.
Community around PC and console.
Yep. You heard them. It's not just about helping marginalized developers. It's about combating the evils of Gamergate. Are you surprised? This was never about supporting indie developers. This was about pushing a reactionary agenda. They weren't funding games, they were funding ideology. And now that their connections are exposed, they're trying to rewrite history.
Yep.
Wings Interactive had every opportunity to respond. Instead, they scrubbed their website of all their board
Look
and
at this
committee
fucking website, bro. Look at this garbage fucking, I swear. I remember looking at this website, but they scrubbed everything.
members, deleted all their games, deleted their Twitter for a time, and deleted almost all of their social media. But
Running away.
now they're back on Twitter and Blue Sky. And when I confronted them on Twitter, they made it very clear that they didn't want to talk. If Wings Interactive is a transparent, honest fund, why are they doing everything possible to erase their past? But you know what's funny? They're not alone. The Game Bakers, they blocked me too. Now you might be asking, okay, who is the Game Bakers?
Who's the Game
I'm glad you
Bakers?
asked.
Fuck?
They're an indie studio co-founded by Audrey LaPrince, the same Audrey
no.
LaPrince who runs
no.
Wings Interactive. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Audrey LaPrince is not only involved with the Game Bakers and Wings, she sits on multiple funding boards, including ones that distribute government money. You heard me correctly.
There it is. There it is. Exactly what we were saying before. This is where your government money is going. I knew it. I knew it.
Audrey LaPrince, the co-founder of Wings and the Game Bakers, sits on multiple funding boards that distribute government grants to video games. And it doesn't stop there. Her own game studio, the Game Bakers, received funding from the CNC. The French government gave them a grant for their video game.
160,000. Bro, this is easy money. Easy money, bro. Just, you don't need to sell your game to customers. Just sell your game to the government. And they'll give you money left and right. Of course they will. Holy shit.
So, begs the question, does this mean that Wings Interactive was directly funded by the government? Well, no. Unfortunately, I can't prove that because they've gone into hiding and the information that I have been able to find is merely speculative. But would it surprise me? No, not at all. Because when you start following the money, things get murky real fast. And for some reason, everyone involved panics the moment they're questioned. And believe me, I've tried to question them. They don't seem to be fans of me. I wonder why.
This man is blocked by everybody. Look at this. Malapata Studio blocked. Gel Pit Parade blocked. Annabelle Sanchez blocked. Button City blocked.
Right now, Wings Interactive is running their annual Games with Wings sale, a special event where they promote games created by women developers. They were off social media until a couple days before this event because this became more than just about selling games. It became about controlling the narrative.
Of course.
And this sale became the perfect damage control. They want you to forget. They want this to disappear because while they're busy pushing friendly, curated showcases, the reality is their funding origins have been exposed. Their leadership is in hiding,
Wow.
and they refuse to answer any questions. This isn't just an indie celebration. As I said, this is convenient damage control. And I, for one, refuse to let them get away with it. If anybody watching this video has any insight into Wings Interactive funding, operation, or connections,
Bro.
my DMs are open, especially if you've worked with them. Because someone has to hold them accountable, and it sure as hell isn't going to be the gaming press. I'll end off this video with a message to the people from Wings who are most likely watching this video.
This is hilarious.
You refuse to be transparent, and you refuse to answer my questions. If you had nothing to hide, all you would need to do is address the claims. It shouldn't be a problem that you're connected to Landfall. But for some reason, whenever it's pointed out, you guys freak out and hide. Why? If you won't answer simple questions and you refuse to be transparent, then somebody, me, gonna have to make you transparent. And that's what I'm gonna continue to do. Hide as much as you want. I've archived everything, and I'm always watching.
That's fucking insane. That's so insane, bro. Oh my god. It's wild, man, because you know, he's going down a rabbit hole that is leading to governmental money. Right? Like TDS is going down the rabbit hole of now he is basically investigating government funds. And it's gonna just get deeper and deeper and deeper. This shit is crazy. I can only imagine where it's gonna end. I really like at this point, nothing will shock me. Nothing will shock me whatsoever at this point. And he's going to keep going. Obviously, he's going to keep going. And I hope he finds everything. So I'm going to link Master the TDS video right now in the chat. If you guys are not subscribed to Master the TDS, if you enjoyed the content, consider subscribing.